Chapel. Did anybody ever got the chance to see the Sistine Chapel? That was phenomenal. But he was a painter, as well as an artist, as well as a sculptor, as well as a lot of other things. Well, he lived in Venice. He lived in Florence. And in Florence, the Medicis, it was the power center of Italy at the time. And the Medicis were the most powerful family, the Rockefellers and the Mellons and the Carnegies all together. And they commissioned him to do a statue. And they wanted a statue that would set in the center of Florence. It would be the most imposing, most important statue in the history of Florence. And so they commissioned him to do it. But he was working on so many other projects that he did not have an idea and he did not have a study. So after about 2 years, they kept pressuring him, we want this statue from you. He was on his way to work one day, and he noticed on a side street there was a large piece of Carrara marble that had been brought down from the mountains, Italian marble, but it was a huge piece. It was about like this, and it was about 30, 40 feet long. And it had been cut right out of the mountains and brought down to Florence, and I guess there had been a customer for it, had fallen through. So it was just laying on planks on a side street, and brush had grown up around it. And he noticed that he walked past this, for years he walked past this, and he saw it. And he went and he began to walk up and down, looking at this piece of marble. And then he realized that this was the statue, that the statue was in the marble. So he had this piece of marble brought with lots of trucks and lots of horses and so on, brought to the studio and put up erect, and he began to carve. And what he did is he carved what was today called the David. Has anybody seen the David in the Academy in Florence? It's mind-blowing. You walk it, you feel the emotional. I mean, it's just standing in the presence of it. It hits you emotionally. It is so beautiful. It's the most beautiful, probably the most beautiful statue in the history of mankind. So he worked and he worked and he worked. And what he did is he worked, first of all, he used a rough chisel to chisel away the rough pieces, and then you use a smaller chisel, and then eventually it takes about a year to 2 years to do this, and then you take really rough awls or grinding machine, and then rougher and then finer and finer sandpaper until finally it took about 4 to 5 years, and it was going to be released, and they had it all covered and moved it out to the center, and people came from all over Italy to see the unveiling of the statue. Nobody had seen it. And when they dropped it, it was just awe. I mean, people were just awed. They were just stunned that this statue was so incredible that Michelangelo had done it. And now it's in the gallery. Is it called the gallery, the Accademia? Is that the name of the gallery? It's worth going to Italy to go to Florence to go and see the David, and a lot of people do it because it's that impressive. Anyway. My son's name is David, so when we went to Italy, I bought him a little replica for him to have in his room. But anyway, so they asked him afterwards, and this is the point of the story. They asked him afterwards how he was able to create such an incredible piece of art from this raw piece of marble from the mountains. He said when he saw the marble, he saw the David in the marble. He said, and then all he had to do was remove everything that was not the David. And the point is that you are like the David as well. And all you have to do is remove all the things that are not the perfection that is in you. And then you will be a work of art as well. Thank you very much.